This video was originally uploaded to my main channel, Ty's Hot Mess History, in December 2022. I'm now moving my black entertainment and 1950s to 1970s pop culture scandal stories to this dedicated channel, Ty's Hot Mess History Soul. You have a lot more scandalous stories like this on the way, some old and some new. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the video. Back in April of 2021, I published this video. Here's a little of what I had to say about Florence Ballard's time with the Supremes, and later in the video, her funeral. To many people who are fans of the Supremes, or even just know a few things about them, Florence Ballard is the true unsung leader of the group. Most people who know anything about Florence Ballard and her time with the Supremes see her as the strongest vocalist among the three women, who was pushed out when Berry Gordy started to develop romantic feelings for Diana Ross. The widely told story is basically that Berry Gordy thought that Florence Ballard's voice was too black to garner major crossover hits for Motown. Diana's voice was white enough to succeed on the pop charts, so Berry Gordy pushed Florence to the side to be what was tantamount to a backup singer to Diana Ross. And to add insult to injury, he started showing Diana favoritism over Florence because he was having an affair with Diana. Then, after being pushed to the side, she was completely pushed out, and no longer being a Supreme led her into a deep depression and alcoholism. As for Florence Ballard, she would be dead 4 years after her assaulter. The official cause of her death was coronary artery thrombosis at the absurdly young age of 32. And for the final nail in her coffin, it seems as though Diana Ross saw fit to upstage her one last time at her funeral, which attracted some 5,000 fans, according to Peter Benjaminson, who was there himself. But when Diana Ross jumped out of her limousine at the New Bethel Baptist Church, the fans actually booed her. Inside, seated with Florence's family, Diana grabbed Florence's youngest daughter, Lisa, and placed the child on her lap. Photographers snapped away, and the image of Diana Ross and little Lisa was published around the world. The only image, as it turned out, that most people ever saw from Florence Ballard's funeral. There are a few more things that Diana Ross, the boss, did at Florence's funeral that made attendees believe that Diana wanted the attention to be on her, even on Florence's final day above ground. Let's get into it. But first, if you like these videos about the most scandalous celebrities from yesteryear who make Ty's Hot Mess History a time capsule for the culture, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I upload one of these videos or every time that I live stream, and comment "I subscribed" in the comment section so that I can say hello to you. Now, on to why you are here. To say that there was bad blood between Diana Ross and Florence Ballard seems like an understatement. So why did Diana even show up to her funeral? Many say uninvited. And furthermore, why make a scene? Florence had lived the last half of her life not getting the respect that she deserved, and even in death, she was often still eclipsed. Some publications did give her passing the attention that it warranted, but others didn't. In many newspapers, she was mentioned only in the obituary section. Here, the Talk of the Town wrote an article, but most of the real estate on that page is reserved for a Piggly Wiggly grocery store ad. Even at her funeral, Reverend C.L. Franklin had to calm down the crowd of thousands, some who were cheering, others who were booing, and others still who wanted autographs from the Motown stars who were in attendance: Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, the Four Tops, who were pallbearers, and Stevie Wonder, who was an honorary pallbearer. Reverend Franklin literally had to remind the crowd that, quote, "This is a funeral." In addition to what was told in the earlier clip, here is what else happened at Florence's funeral, according to writers Peter Benjaminson and Mark Bago, who were in attendance. Here's how the grunge summed up what Peter Benjaminson wrote in The Lost Supreme, The Life of Dream Girl Florence Ballard. Quote, Ballard's funeral took place at Detroit's New Bethel Baptist Church and attracted over 5,000 people who crowded onto the streets and sidewalk outside the church. It's unknown if Diana Ross was even invited to the funeral in the first place, but she arrived at the ceremony in a limousine, making a grand entrance that was booed by several assembled mourners. Ross's own mother was present as her daughter arrived early and reportedly looked very upset with the public's negative reaction. Ross joined Ballard's family in the front row, sitting directly beside Thomas Chapman, at which point she took his youngest daughter, Lisa, from him and sat the child on her own lap. A photographer took a picture of Ross and little Lisa and published it, making it one of the only publicly available images from the funeral. End quote. In case you are lost, Tommy Chapman was Florence Ballard's husband. Mark Bago's description of the day's events were a bit more vivid. When he was interviewed by Michael Musto for The Village Voice, this is what he had to say. Quote, all of a sudden, in one grand and dramatic motion, Miss Ross catapulted herself into the church. Flanked by two burly male bodyguards, she quickly shot through the open doorway and down the center aisle. She simultaneously appeared and let out a sobbing scream. She then appeared to swoon to the point of being seconds away from collapsing mid-aisle. The two male bodyguards swept her up by the arms and whisked her to the front of the church. Instantly, the entire crowd jumped to its feet and emitted a shocked, in unison gasp. People were climbing, crawling, and hanging from the edge of the balcony to grab a glimpse of the black, sable-bedecked and tear-soaked Ross. I have never seen such a choreographed display of drama in my life. It appeared to be the worst act of mock mourning that I had ever seen. I was awestruck. It was Florence's funeral, and Miss Ross acted like she was out to steal the show. In much the same way, I feel, she stole the Supremes away from Ballard and turned the group into Diana Ross and the Supremes. I could not have dreamed up a crazier scenario than this one if I tried. I thought to myself, in my opinion, that Diana Ross really is an unmitigated bitch. She won't even allow Florence to be the star of her own funeral. Where did our love go? Indeed. End quote. And ouch. So you decide, was Diana Ross just a friend who was really distraught over the passing of a friend and maybe people didn't understand the way that she was mourning? Or did she use Florence Ballard's funeral as some kind of sick publicity stunt? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. To see the Florence Ballard video that I referenced at the beginning of this video, click here. I will also leave a link to it in the description box. My sources for this video are The Village Voice, Grunge, The Town Talk Archives 1976, Detroit Free Press Archives 1976, Jet Magazine Archives 1976, and my own previously mentioned video.